Happy winter solstice, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful, miraculous day, a day of many activations. Thank you for joining us for this one. I am joined here by my very good friend, Light Messenger Ruby, and she is a phenomenal channel, a phenomenal healer, a phenomenal friend and mentor and guide. And we're very excited for the collective that she's going to be bringing through. They kind of volunteered themselves. And like we said in the description, they represent one of the very first splits off from Source. So we were trying to figure out like who are they and what are they? And through them describing to us what their work is, we're like, oh, okay. They're they're just this like foundational matrix of creation, but they also breathe light into potential creation, breathe life into potential creation. So with that, Ruby, if you'd like to say a couple words or just into the channeling, we can go right ahead. And also, guys, if you would like to ask a question while Ruby is channeling, just use the raise hand function or put your question in the chat. And if you have a personal question, it'll be better if you ask that live yourself. But if not, you can just type in the chat. You also, if you want to ask a question, but maybe you're shy, you don't have to turn on your camera. Okay. So yeah, we really encourage you guys to participate. And yeah, let's dive.
We have joined you today. Yes, indeed, we are the celestial energy that come together to share a little bit of knowledge with all of you. We understand that there are questions, one of which are that of Christ consciousness. Is this correct?
It is correct.
Very good. Very good. There is still quite a misperception as to what Christ consciousness is. It is not that was thought of after one of the beautiful masters that was incarnated at that time. Many that have known this beautiful soul as Jesus. Indeed, Jesus was one of many that came to the realization of what Christ's consciousness was and is. Many of you that are here today virtually are aware that Christ consciousness is not indeed a Jesus phenomenon. It is that of an awareness of who you are indeed, your true essence. It is more of a description than what it is a label. It is a simple word or two words that explains embodying your true essence, that is beyond 3D, that of being part of that source many of you would recognize as God, divine. It is an energy that we, including ourselves in the celestial space, energy, we all come from that. But just like any other family tree, there are generations that continue carrying that genetic aspect, that energetic genetic aspect. We would like to get more into that at some point with humanity in general. But the information is quite in depth, and there are certain things that will not be possible to express, not because it is not the time, as some would say. That is, yes, part of it, but it's not just that. When humanity continues with its evolution, continues with its ascension, continues with its discovery, self-discovery, it will be able to connect more with the understanding of what it is and how it has been, in the sense of how it works. To say this now, even to the most enlightened soul, there are some that are very few that are tapping into that even further than what they are tapping into now. Those individuals, yes, have been getting their downloads and understandings, but they too are not completely tapped in yet. And let's reuse, or let's rephrase that. It's not that much of tapping in, because you already have that, but you're tapping into yourself to find it, to discover it. But on the paths that humanity, each individual of humanity has played or is incarnated at this time and fulfilling, it will be impossible to try to get into the little finer details, if that makes any sense.
Are you saying that there needs to be more of a collective awakening before the deeper understandings of Christ consciousness are able to be understood?
Not only that of Christ consciousness, Christ consciousness is still a concept that can be explained fundamentally, and this we will express shortly. But in the greater scheme of things, because it's not a concept that just exists on its own. There are a lot of other things that caused that concept or that explains it even more in depth. It's like humanity at this time. Yes, many are ascending, many have delved into things that they never knew was even possible. Correct. But part of this collective spread of awakening, there is so much individuals can do, but there's going to be a stage where there is going to be somewhat of a hmm, an instant switch that will be triggered that will bring more than that of the 3D concept. It is very difficult to try to explain through this channel, but many have said, oh, the new world or the apocalypse or whatever or however individuals see it in their perspective. But there will be a beautiful energetic spread that will help those that have been on this journey to see even further. Is that a little bit more clear? Please ask if not.
It is clear. It sounds like there is going to be a moment in time where things are able to be much more illuminated for those of us that are seeking along these paths.
Correct. Very much so. Thank you. That is correct. And there are certain individuals that are tapping into that already due to special circumstances. But the understanding has not come out too clear yet. But they will even get that with everybody else. It's not that you're all going to be hitting a wall. No. It doesn't mean that every soul that is incarnated at that time has to experience it. No. It's more of a collective surge of energy that will automatically bring that clarity and understanding. It's more of the more that are on this journey, the more it is enhancing that momentum to get those that are on those journeys to do that, to that place, to that space. And it's more a state of mind.
That being said, could you talk to us a bit about the present energies that we're experiencing? What sorts of frequencies and energetics are most powerful today on the winter solstice?
Mm. Mm. There is definitely, it's not as much as a specific energy. Um, it is more of the next, going into the next chapter. going and shifting now. And it's more of, it's more of taking a step to a point. It's like the line that is between the finish where people would come in a race and say, okay, this is wonderful. This channel just said it's almost like when they do a marathon or they do a race where they pass the baton and then the next one is going, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But it is the same individual. Right now, the soul is on that line and saying, I've run up to here now, I have to continue now with this next lap. This next space. And that line, such as today, is one of those that is causing a beautiful, if you will, almost like a pause button to regenerate and to refocus and to look at, to analyze, to do the perspective. It's not a race where you're just going. It's you do the race, you need the time to stop, look inwards, revisit certain things, but on a not in a space where you're in that energy, but you're looking outwards, looking in. It's having more of a neutral perspective than when the individual was in the middle of that running. It's hard to take, it's hard to take time to recap on things because they're still looking at that to finish the first lap. Now it's a standing still and processing, not just processing, but understanding why that last race was the way it was. How has it benefited this soul to take on the next lap? That last one assisted the soul to be familiar with every curve, to be familiar with the surface that each step was made, to be familiar with it, and how to approach the next lap, but using the same track, and how to be more effective and to possibly let go of excess weight. And when we refer to that, this is talking about, say, spiritual, energetic, emotional weight. Does that make sense?
It does.
And if one could say the energy, the fact that the energy has been put on somewhat of a pause, it's allowing the individual from being in an overexerted state of mind, therefore assisting them to generate their own energy to be restored. Does that answer somewhat more clear?
It does. And I have one more question before we move into some other questions from our audience. Could you give us an idea of what the next lap for the collective might look like as we head into 2025?
This is a very valid question, which many have. We will remind you beautiful souls that with this next lap, it is a symbol of change, of evolving, and part of that change in the majority's perspective, it will come across somewhat tumultuous or chaotic, but understand it will be of great necessity. It will bring a lot of clarity and exposure to what is very necessary for if you will, to heal, to for matters that need to be addressed that have not been addressed for centuries. This will bring a lot of shaking. And as you are all aware, even though your existence is not based on political means, humanity has for far too long handed over the reins to greed, to control, to be as far as being imprisoned within your true, or being imprisoned from accessing your true essence of who you are. And the political state has been not the main controlling factor, but has been the face of that. And when individuals start to see, as these things are exposed, this is when the veil drops. This year, and that you're exiting, it's not the first, but has been a major shake and a platform for the next 6 years. But this new lap is going to bring a lot of that. And we want to assure all those that are listening today, this is not a doomsday prophecy that is being shared with you. This is a reassurance that those that are seeing the cancer within humanity, this is the time where the doctors, if you will, are in the process of investigating of what type of cancer, what's caused the cancer, what would be the best means to remove this cancer. And this coming year will be a lot of tumors coming to surface in order for individuals to recognize that something is at a place so that they can go and get and speak to those that will assist them to help remove that cancer. Is that more clear?
That is very clear.
And to just go back to the Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness, understand everyone that is listening today, is the awareness of oneness, is the awareness of who you truly are. It's the awareness of recognizing your worth. It is the awareness of being unlimited. It is the awareness of knowing that you have a voice. It is an awareness knowing that things that seemed impossible are possible. It is the awareness that you too are a beautiful contributor to healing, restoration. You are all, such as ourselves, are co-creators. And when you understand that you are not shackled, that indeed the recognition of this will loosen the shackles, you will be able to remove yourself from that imprisonment and run freely. And when you run freely, you will be free to roam and explore the beautiful possibilities that are there for you as source, such as Jesus, such as other deities. They came to the realization that they indeed were gods. It's not just knowing it, it's allowing it to be.
Beautiful.